Hey there, Red Knight here, and welcome back to another cool video. Now today's video is You've Got Mail, and I'm playing an awesome game called Gardenscapes. Now I do like this game, and I do like the fact that I have the opportunity to do lots of really cool tasks and to do lots of puzzles. Now one thing I have noticed is that you are going to need a lot of support when it comes to these puzzles, and thankfully the game has a way of resolving that using what we call lives. Now you'll see here you've got a little envelope to the right hand side, and then when you tap on it you get to see your inbox, and inside this inbox you'll see lots of your friends who are sending you lives and also requesting lives at the same time. Now if you are out of lives, you just basically accept this. You send away the ones that you want to your friends as well, so they've got them. Now you can only have 5 at a time there, up in the top left hand corner, but it is really useful. Now even if you're accepting and sending them away, you can only have 5, as I said, at a time, but you don't lose the rest of them. They sit there, they wait until you actually need them, and that's actually pretty cool. So you'll see there it tells me full lives, you've already have all of them, so you can't accept any more, but you can send them away. So you can do it individually or you can do it as a group. So here we go. You get the opportunity to support people out there as well by sending them lives. Now you can't accept more than the 5, but you can send many. So you can do it by pressing the button individually, or you can actually press the button down at the bottom and accept and send all in one go. Now should you decide to do it all in one go, do you lose those extra lives that you can't actually use within the game at the moment because you've got your 5 already? No, you don't. They actually stay there inside the envelope until you need them a little bit later. And trust me, you are going to need them, as I've found. Some of these puzzles are really challenging, if not frustrating, especially when you only need one more move and it tells you that you have run out of moves. So you've got to start all over again by using another life, unless of course you would like to spend some money for those extra 5 moves, but the choice is yours on that one. Okay, right, now let's head on over to do a puzzle. Maybe we're going to need to use some of those lives, maybe not. Now one thing I did find out from level 7 is the fact that I can start to use some shovels. Now I thought, oh, this looks good. Now I wonder how they actually work. Do I lose any of my moves, or is it something that's additional for me within the game? Now thankfully everybody, it's something that's additional. So not only can you remove pieces from the actual board, maybe to make your puzzle a lot easier for you, but it doesn't take away from your actual moves. So super awesome on that one, and I did like that option, because maybe by using that shovel it will allow you to complete the puzzle, so you can then basically get those points that you need to do a task within the game, i.e. get that little beautiful golden star. Now I'm going to be making lots of mistakes as I start playing and learning this game, but I've actually learned as I've gone on, and I'm noticing that there are some key things that you need to be aware of. So as you're watching me play here, I'm going to point out some of the mistakes that I've been making and maybe giving you a good indication about some of the ones you need to be doing. Now a few times I've been tapping on the actual rockets there. Now the rockets are kind of nice, they're pretty good, they're useful, they do some clearing, sometimes they're very useful. Same with the explosive device. Okay, again they're very good for clearing away, but by actually tapping on one of them you actually use one of your moves, so it's not always that beneficial. So I've actually found that if you move the objects that are around them, thus allowing you to make a pattern. So as an example, if I move those apples now with either the rocket or the actual bomb, it will explode those for me without losing any of my moves and also clearing away a load of pieces. Now every large explosion that you make fills your charger down in the bottom right hand corner, and then you can take pieces away like this. Now again, sometimes you don't have to take away straight away because maybe the piece that you want is not really connected. Now I thought, okay, I can move it over sideways, but I did find out that if you actually try to move it out of the way, the piece that you're touching to swap or exchange, I'm afraid, triggers it, and it will remove all of those pieces. Now look over here on the actual left hand side, you'll see the 3 bombs there. Now if I actually move them together like I've done there, fantastic, it gives me a nice little move, a large explosion, it recharges again. If I look at the other bomb that's just up on the top right hand side there, now in a moment that's going to be in an awesome position to actually blow up as well. Now again, if I move the berries over, it will take away that bottom hand corner. So you've got to look at how the actual bombs and the rockets are placed when it comes to actually blowing things up and clearing away some of the pieces. Now the rockets are nice, but they don't really clear the space up that effectively, not as much as a bomb may do so. So do choose very, very wisely in this effect. Now a nice little double bomb there with the rocket as well. They're blending in nicely together. You're seeing me using the move now to actually use the berries to move them out the way. Fantastic. You'll see the actual option there now of possibly removing some of the fruit with the actual rainbow circle, but I've left it in place there. Now I've got 5 moves left here. I need to clear away these ones down at the bottom. Now what can I do? I've got the double circles there, which is really good. Now again, I need to do this really, really wisely. Now if I remove the apples, that should clear away those spaces. If I blow up the rocket, that might do it as well. But again, it's all about playing this very, very carefully. You need to look at how the pieces are falling. Now I think the rocket would be a nice little option there. I've got 2 moves left. I'm going to have no choice because I didn't take any away. However, if I do the takeaway now, look what happens. I did the takeaway, the rocket stays there, and I left with 1 move. Now all my goals are completed. I've done it, but look what happens. It continues exploding and it continues giving me more coins. So sometimes by not exploding all of the devices but completing the actual game itself, it will continue blowing up, and then your coins will keep adding up and adding up and adding up until it can't do any more, like it's just done there. So brilliant, 78 gold coins and another star towards my kitty. That means I can now do at least another task if it requires the 1 star. Now if it requires 2 stars or more, then I've got a problem. Now Robbie says, are you enjoying the game? Please rate it. Now I'm going to rate it much later, not now. But I do like the way the game is progressing. I need 2 stars to actually dismantle the house, so I need to do a little bit more work there. Again, I'm checking my newsfeed down at the side, and I love reading this because there's some really interesting information there. So like Austin says, I'm expecting an old friend from mine here help us to dismantle the old tree. William said, Austin, we used to fix things up back in the day. Olivia, oh, I think there was a picture of you and Robbie playing Indians by that tree. I need to find it. Dad? And he replies, now do check your messages because it's good. Now I wonder what the photo's going to be, so check regularly because it's actually kind of interesting. Now my butler, he does speak a lot during the game, and I found that if you actually tap on some things as well, he will actually go over to that object and he will either say something or do something or even do some kind of action, and I like it. He even interacts with you within the game and waves and talks to you, so do talk to him. He was lost in a flood of memories. Oh, that's a shame. But look at my garden there. It does look like a lot of work's needed. So I guess I'd better start working on collecting more of those stars. So what's my next task here? A double task here. So 42 berries and 42 flowers. Now I've got 2 shovels left. Is it going to be an effective use here? Maybe I will waste them, maybe not. It's telling me to move the apple and the berry. I might do that, but again, I can pick and choose. You don't have to follow what it tells you. I've actually found sometimes it's better to ignore and then go your own way. Sometimes with these actual activities, you want to try and take away as many pieces as you can in one go. So try to work it so you get the large explosive devices coming up on the screen. If you can take away more than 1 piece or 1 group or in a large movement of your pieces, then it's going to give you the option to recharge your circle and take away, because sometimes just doing a 3 movement is not going to help at all. Now look at this, I can move the apple with the bomb and that might give me a nice little big bang there. It will give me a bit of a charge, but is it something that I want to do at the moment? Yes it is, of course, because the charge is what we need there. Now looking around again, what should I do? Okay, it looks like everything is still a 3. So I need to try and plan this strategically so the pieces fall together to give me a 4, a 5, a 6 or even a 7 piece option. Look at that one, perfect, and that worked very, very nicely. Another explosive device there. Now I could tap on it, or I can just leave it to a little bit later. Now if I leave it, it's going to move down, and maybe it's much more beneficial. And I often do that. I often don't touch it until later, just to see how it will fall, because if it goes in the right position, like there in the center, I can clear away a load in one go. Ooh, now that's a good one as well. Just bring that bottom one up, change the two pieces around, and there we go. Super awesome. Double explosion down there at the bottom should give me a nice little charger as well. So trying to get the rockets and the bombs closer together will make it much more beneficial for me. Now if I can, moving the pieces without actually touching the bombs is much better as well. Okay, looks like I've got a nice little option there with the pairs in a moment, if I can work it so they fall down. So maybe taking away those flowers and bringing... No, I made a mistake. If I'd done the flowers first, it probably would have been a better explosive possibility there. So you do have to think very, very carefully about this, guys. Plan ahead and look at what you're trying to do. Right, now I've recharged. Now the great thing about the recharge, I could choose either the berries or the flowers. Now maybe I don't want to do it now, maybe I do, but again it's looking at how the pieces are falling. I've got 4 moves left. There's a strong possibility I'm now going to fail this one. I don't think in the 4 moves I'm going to be able to get all of the pieces. However, if I do take one away, it may just make it so the other pieces fall down naturally and accumulate and then add to the total. Now the only option I've got there is to either use the shovel or to actually use my rainbow circle and take the piece away. Now what should I do? What should I do? Should I go with the shovel and just test it, or should I just press the rainbow? I'm going to take the shovel. Did it help? No, it didn't. That was a complete waste of a move. So like I said, mistakes do happen. You're testing, you're trying things out, and it's not working. Should have done this in the first place, and oh dear, it was not a good move at all. So I'm going to lose this option. I need too many of the flowers, and there's just no way. Even if I were to get an explosive option now and then recharge my circle, it's not going to let me. Now I can spend coins to play and move on. I get another 5 goes, and I found that it's actually not worth doing it unless you know you can win within that 5. Or you get the option to try again, and this is where those lives come in handy. So if I press this one, my 5 lives are going to go down to 4 or even 3, depending on how many games I've actually played, and then maybe I need to start accepting from my friends. So I'm going to avoid that for the moment. I'm going to accept the life just to show you, and there it goes. I've refilled and those lives are still there. Okay, right, that's it from me. It's Red Knight here signing off. I do hope you enjoyed this introduction to the lives within the actual game. If you've got any questions, don't forget to comment below the video, and I will see you all in my next video, because we are going to start looking at the treehouse, everybody. So take care and see you all next time. Goodbye all.